Thank you, Chairwoman Wagner, and thank you, Ms. Wertheimer, for coming here today. I just have a couple of quick concerns. And one of mine is obviously your entity is either stores, processes, or has control over $5 trillion in secondary mortgage assets. And when it comes to personal information and the storage of that, especially dealing with the mortgage, the confidential information that you hold for people all across the nation, it indicated that you have not done any supervisory activities dealing with cybersecurity in the 2016 examination cycle. Can you comment on that and tell me if that's something in the works in light of Equifax and so many of the breaches we've had and the constant attempts on government to breach into our sensitive security measures?
Look, cybersecurity for me has been a top priority. It was a top priority when I was in the private practice of law. It remains a top priority. As the Inspector General and the Office of the Inspector General, we do not have personal information regarding the mortgages that are purchased or guaranteed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That data resides with them, and FHFA is the concern.
Can I reclaim my time from it? Resides with them, meaning the banking institution or the individual holders?
It resides first with the originator of the loan.
Right, okay, the banking institutions.
Then, if to the extent that those mortgages are purchased by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, it resides with those two enterprises. FHFA as conservator can access, because it has the right, title, and interest under HERA as conservator to obtain it. We do not, because we're the Inspector General. If we are looking at a particular loan program, as we did recently with respect to the 97% loan programs that were begun in December of 14, we can ask for specific data on specific mortgages. We don't have that data in our database. Now, your question, I think, as I understood it, went to why FHFA's supervisory plan for the 2016 supervisory cycle planned a number of supervisory activities to examine Fannie Mae's cyber risk management practices. As our audit found, it concluded none of those activities. Does that concern me? You bet. Does it keep me up at night? You bet.
Let me ask you something further on that, because I appreciate that it's a big concern, and I did a lot of mortgages in my past life as a bank attorney. Much of this information, and we did a lot of GSE type loans backed either by numerous organizations. A lot of this information actually is in the public domain, registered with banking requirements by state law and federal law, where these loans are actually being recorded with clerks across the country, county clerks, particularly in New York State. I know where I reside. And so my concern is that those are requirements coming from the FHA and from your side as well. So all these documents are in the public domain with county clerks. Is there anything that you do to guard the consumers against the type of these filings that could provide exposure to cyber or personal theft of whether it's social security numbers, addresses, banking information that end up in a county clerk's? Is that something that you would guard against when you're actually approving a loan or providing a secondary mortgage market to them?
Yeah, so again, we don't do any of that. We are here to look at what FHFA has decided to do with that information as conservator.
But wouldn't that be an oversight function you would have when you go to make sure that these things aren't disclosed as part of your whole package of providing some kind of protection for consumers when their personal data could end up online when they actually go to seek some kind of loan with, a secondary mortgage loan?
So let me try to explain that. FHFA has delegated as conservator to the enterprises the responsibility for cybersecurity protection. It is up to the enterprises to put into place rigorous controls to either prevent the inappropriate disclosure or at least mitigate that risk.
Right. If they don't take that, what is your action if that's not done? Because you've indicated that there was no protection in place under the 2016 guidance. So what would you do to protect the consumer going forward? Is something you would do proactively now in light of what the 2016 showed that you didn't do?
Okay, so we didn't. It's not that we didn't do it. FHFA develops a supervisory plan every year, what it's going to examine. What we do is go back through our audit and evaluation function and determine whether they in fact affected their supervisory plan. We had 2 audits we issued in 2015.
I think my time has expired. Can you quickly get to, so it covers cybersecurity risks?
Absolutely, and that's
Okay.
what our 2016 audit found, that in fact, notwithstanding the plan, they had not conducted any of the planned activities. We wrote about it to call it out to our stakeholders. Yes, we're concerned. We think it is an unsafe and unsound supervisory strategy, and that is what we reported.
Thank you for your testimony. Thank you.